Growing Up Unloved by Gregory Brandt. During the summer of 1987, my father moved me, my twin brother, and our two older twin sisters to a middle-class house in the northeast side of San Antonio, Texas. We had not seen our mother in some time. Our father had full custody, despite straight-up loathing his two little boys. My brother and I were about to start second grade, and our sisters were entering sixth grade. This was during a time where kids were supposed to, quote-unquote, play outside with the other kids in the neighborhood. Our sisters never played with toys or did any kid-type stuff. The fact is, after our father got full custody when they were about 9 or 10, he basically turned them into his child brides and made one his official cook. He hated my brother and me and would sometimes lock us outside. We were basically forced to play with the outside other kids. And even though they were around the same age as we were, they could tell that we were way behind mentally. Our father and sisters never spoke to us at home, so by the time we entered public school or interacted with other kids in the neighborhood, we weren't able to communicate as well as they were. The last person a 7-year-old wants to be friends with is a 7-year-old that acts like a 4-year-old. Other kids' parents didn't usually want us there either. We were dressed in rags, we never brushed our teeth and didn't shower. Our father never bought us soap or toothpaste, and the first we heard about personal hygiene was from teachers at school or when being teased by the neighborhood kids. Our father straight up neglected us, and we had to talk to social services numerous times, but they never did anything. Most other kids' parents wouldn't let us in their house, but I remember one kid, Chris Claflin, who went out of his way to be nice to my brother and me. Chris was one of the older kids in the neighborhood, kind of like the neighborhood leader. Chris's front yard is where most of the football, basketball, and baseball games took place. I remember a few times Chris let me inside his house. He was the youngest child, and he had older siblings that had already moved out. This was one reason why Chris was nice to me. He had older siblings that had been nice to him when he was younger. I remember Chris showing me pictures of the San Antonio Spurs game he recently went to, and this was even before they drafted David Robinson. I learned my favorite curse word from Chris's father. We were in Chris's garage, and his father was working on something at his shop table when he suddenly cut himself before yelling out, "Fucking A!" I had never heard those two words used together, and Chris's father wasn't the type of man to curse, especially in front of children. However, to this day, if I ever stub my toe or step on a Lego, I always yell out, "Fucking A!" Over the next few years, my brother and I would rarely be allowed, quote-unquote, inside any of the neighborhood kids' houses. This does more emotional damage than we noticed at the time. I remember sitting outside houses with my brother when all the other kids were invited inside for ice cream or lemonade, and my brother would have me to stay outside. But that's where all the basketball, football, and baseball games were played anyways. My brother liked sports, but I secretly always wanted to go inside. A few occasions, Chris would have lip-syncing contests at his house, and they always invited me and my brother because for whatever reason, we were good at lip syncing. I remember we would lip sync the entire Weird Al album. There's the one with Eat It on it. Chris was a good dude. When all the other kids made fun of us for being unkempt and unloved, Chris Claflin at least gave us a chance. It's true what they say. You don't always remember what somebody says to you or even what they look like, but you always remember how someone makes you feel. That's a fact. My name is Gregory Brandt. I hope you enjoyed the story and have a nice day.